brunch, girl. Hey, eating them tiny raviolis. Hey, not getting a side salad or nothing. Hey.
Hashtag triggered. Oh, so triggered. Hi, Miss Mims. How are you today?
I'm better than you, Maim. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just a little bitter about small portion sizes at this little Italian restaurant. That's all.
It's not a little Italian restaurant. It's a national chain.
I mean, so's Little Caesar, but I would never call them a big pizza place because they're all small.
You know what? Well, that's because little's in the name. You know what?
What?
I have a story. Speaking of Italian food, did you ever hear about Olive Garden and the study they had done to bring more people in to Olive Garden?
Did it involve making better food?
On the list of improvements, salt the pasta water and do not overcook.
You are. If you are not joking,
I
am
am
going to be
not joking.
That doesn't even That doesn't even make sense.
But I do have good news. It's unlimited shrimp at Red Lobster right now.
You better shut your mouth. It is not.
It is. You know, I could eat the shrimp scampi till they stop serving them to me.
And there's a Red Lobster near my house.
I don't know if it is in Florida, but it is here.
My Red Lobster is so close. It's in the same parking lot as the Joann's.
Do they know your name at the Red Lobster too?
No, I don't go there that often. I mean,
which one? To the Joann's or to the Red Lobster?
They know my name at all the Joann's. Oh, fun story, right? I also had a very unusual exchange this weekend. So occasionally, as you know, although most of our folks may not know, I have to travel to different Joann's to get specific types of fabrics because I really need stuff and I can't wait for it to be mailed. So there's a Joann's that's maybe like a 20 plus 25-minute drive from where I live right now. So they're not as familiar there with me. I don't think most of them even know me at all, except for like this one little lady. So there was a new lady on Saturday that was cutting my fabric, or was it Sunday? One of these days. And so Halloween stuff is on clearance right now. So I was like, oh, let me look. And I found this really cute fabric that I was like, oh my gosh, I'll just make this into like a dress for all the time.
Yeah.
As I took it up to her. It was very unusual. She's like a middle-aged lady. She looks like she's been through some things and could tell some stories. She's still rocking butterfly clips in her hair. Her very thin hair. It was a lot. It was a visual.
Yeah.
And I was with it. I was totally with it. And she didn't say hey. She didn't say hi. Nothing. She just took the fabric. I told her how much I wanted. Then just randomly out of the blue, she's like, "You making dog beds with these?" And I was like, "What just happened? What just happened?" And I just kind of looked at her, and it was so out of the blue, like every part of it, right? How she sounded, what she asked me, everything. That for a second there, and you know this is not typical of me, I didn't know what to say for a second there. I was just kind of like, what? I was like, no, it's not for. It threw me off so bad because like
you making dog beds with these?
Right, because she's a little lady. She was petite. Like she wasn't like a big lady or anything. She was petite, and and she said that, and I was just like, don't hurt me. Like that's really all I could think of at the time. It was just don't hurt me, please.
Did you tell her no? I'm making a fabulous dress out of it.
Well, I didn't say that just because at first I was like, do I tell her a dress? Because then I was like, am I making a dress out of it? Or am I going to make something else?
Or am I going to make a dog bed?
At first I thought I was going to say a dress, but then I was like, but then what if I make something like a halter outfit or a jumpsuit or something like that? I started getting very specific in my head about what I could do with the fabric. And I was just like, I don't know, maybe some aprons or something. I don't know. I just
I'm
like
making some ladies' clothing that
it wouldn't
fits me.
the material itself actually, it's I could totally see how she could possibly like not even fathom it because it's not
Is it
typically
quilting
like
cotton?
no, but it's like that, you know, that fabric they have there, they call it like super snuggle flannel. It's like
Yeah.
that very thin flannel. It's that material. So I can see how she might like not think that, but like I've actually worn a dress out of that material before, and it's so thin that it's not even hot. Even though you probably think it's gonna be hot, it's
Yeah.
actually not. It breathes really well.
And you don't have to line it because it's just thick enough.
Girl, let me tell you. Ooh. Give me a material I ain't got a line. You're gonna get. I'm gonna get a boner. I'm so excited when I find those. Woo!
Speaking of boners, you rocked my world today when you posted on Facebook that Cal Penn is a homosexual.
Right?
I was like, I went downstairs and told Mr. Mims, and he said, oh, I guess that's one less thing that you've got against you getting it. It's like, well, what would be the first one? Well, you've never met him, first of all. It's like, thank you for saving your ass right there.
Wow. Yeah, no, it was actually quite funny because, you know, I don't want to say that I had inklings, but I will say when I watched Harold and Kumar, I always had this very strange drawing to him. I was always like, there's something about that guy, and I can't figure out what it is.
Which is odd because you usually go for butch straight men.
I do not.
Yeah, bro.
I don't. Yeah, that's who I normally. If anybody out there would like to meet Mr. Maim, you know, the butchest, most aggressive, toxic masculine man you will ever meet. Right?
He
right?
is. I've met him.
Yeah, right? Right? Like oozes toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
It's so it oozes so much you think it's pus.
Is that never needs to be put in anything. I think we've done a good enough intro there. Let's get into this episode.
Oh man, what an episode this was.
This is season 2, episode 3, Anthony Jr.
I'm so happy.
I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. And that's Marjorie. Just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the light went out in Georgia. The light went out, the light went out, the light went out, the light went out. And that is the night the light went out in Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
This is the after school special of Designing Women.
A black man with a kid after school special of Designing Women.
Better watch where you plug it, boys.
You better watch where you plug it. And you can't trust a single mom either.
No, especially when you don't know who she is at all.
Especially, dear listeners, we apologize for the editing that just had happened right there. We lost some audio. We don't know what happened.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
We'll never hear that again.
No. So we lost about 3 minutes, but we're back.
It was comedy gold, so we're
it
sorry.
Was not. Maim had a lewd joke. Mama Maim, you would have washed her mouth out with soap. But I did pose a question. Because Suzanne's got a $700 bag. We found out she's going to a birthday party. What was the woman's name again?
Andrea Young.
Andrea Young's birthday party. And she's got a $700 bag. So I asked Maim if during the back of the day she ever went to Valley Hills Mall and looked around at the purses with her mother and like picked them up.
Valley Hills Mall.
Isn't that the one that's in Hickory?
We never went to Valley Hills. We always went to Haynes Mall.
Oh, you were bougie.
No, we just didn't. I mean, it's just the one we always went to. I don't know why we didn't go to the Hickory Mall that much. Like, we always just went to Haynes Mall.
We went to Hickory Mall, and then we'd go to Haynes Mall if we really needed something special.
I feel like there was a specific store in Haynes Mall, then that's why we used to go to that one. Yeah, because they were.
What was it? Dillard's?
No, it wasn't that. It had something. It was all dictated by my father.
The Nature Company.
Maybe. Oh, I actually might have been it, right? Just like how we used to go to Charlotte all the time so he could get that, go to the Tandy Leather place on Independence Boulevard for his like Native American crafting supplies.
Okay.
So that's why I used to go to Charlotte so much when I was in high school.
I used to. There was. I don't know if it's still there. I should go in Haynes Mall again. But the cookie shop in Haynes Mall. Oh my God.
It was so good. It was
so good. And it's in the old part of Haynes Mall.
So, dear listeners, we're talking. Haynes Mall is a mall that's located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's a kind of a unique mall because it was an original mall, and then they built an entirely second mall attached to the first mall. So if you ever speak to a person who's from that area, you always will hear them say Old Haynes Mall and New Haynes Mall because even though it's been many decades since the new part's been built, we still refer to it.
And you have to. It's the only mall I've ever been to that you have to traverse through a JCPenney to get from one side to the other.
They lucked out. That JCPenney lucked out because you were gonna get stuck looking at Arizona Jean Company stuff.
And they put it right there, right around. Girl, downstairs later on, they put when Sephora did their Sephora in JCPenney. They put the Sephora in the middle.
Ooh!
Yes!
I would have been in trouble.
I know, right? There's another. Oh, they're doing Sephora and Kohl's now too.
No way.
Yes, I was driving home one day and I was picking up some nail polish, from the Ulta. I use bougie nail polish on my toenails. Anyway, I was picking up some nail polish from the Ulta, bougie from the Ulta. Anyway. And I was like, leaving the parking lot. I was leaving the parking lot, and there was a Kohl's. And I was like, oh, there's a Kohl's. Isn't that white? And I keep driving. I was like, there's a Sephora right there. What is a Sephora doing in Gardner, North Carolina?
Not Gardner, Henny.
And then later on that evening, or the next day, when I went to work, the second shift supervisor was in there, and she's a little bougie. I was like, and she lives in Clayton, which is where I work. And I was like, hey, did you know that in Garner, which is the city, use quotes, right next to this, there's a Sephora? And she just looked at me and said, shut your mouth. I've been going all the way to Raleigh for that shit. I saved somebody a trip.
There you go. Sephora's bringing it to the people.
Anthony's entering. He's singing.
He is singing. He is singing like hardcore singing.
And like Charlene's looking at him with googie eyes. Googie eyes? Is that a phrase that I'm using?
Googly eyes.
Whoa.
Googie eyes means they're melting.
Apparently Goofy's here. What? Oh, he's met Savannah Simonton.
She sounds fancy, doesn't she?
She goes to Dartmouth.
Whoa, she is an intelligent woman.
Her parents are the Simontons. You know, the owners of Lowe's Hardware.
Yeah.
So they own Simonton's Nurseries, which have nurseries all across South, which, dear listeners, if you didn't know, Lowe's Hardware is based in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and started being built all over the South. Now they're all over the nation, but
yeah, and they're everywhere now.
And
we used to have one of the first ones.
It's true, and the Statesville Airport is one of the largest shipping things for Lowe's Hardware. They have They have executive flights for Lowe's.
I forgot there was an airport in Statesville.
You forgot about the balloon rally. Y'all, Statesville, North Carolina is known for a lot of things. It's known for a balloon rally. It's like one of the last places in America that's got a hot air balloon manufacturer. It's one of the last places in America that's got a stained glass manufacturer. It's there are a few. Don't come at me. Actually, do, because we need some support on this.
Please come at us.
Speaking of coming at us, Maim, did you know we have a Patreon? It is patreon.com/baking sugar. Please send us some support. Come at us there. You have to be a Patreon to come at us. I don't know what's going on. See, poor Maim has experienced, I think this is her first true drag Halloween, where she's got multiple things she has to do over the course of 5 days.
Yes.
And she is nutso, and she did not have a good enough brunch this morning.
It was so small. It was so small. I'm so mad still about that. Oh,
Anthony lied to her father.
Wait, what? That is
said,
getting off on the wrong foot.
I know. He said he's rich. His parents have Virginia coal money. They now retired to Spain. He's learning to be a decorator. And Auntie Julia is his godmother. And he's living in Suzanne's guest house.
I didn't think that the United States legally allowed black people to have coal mines.
I
didn't think that. I thought that was in the Constitution. I thought it was literally just Appalachian white people were the only ones allowed to own coal mines.
We were watching some horror films this week since it's Halloween.
Horror,
like scary, spooky, scary.
I do.
So we watched the original The Haunting.
Oh, that's actually really
1963.
good.
It is really good. I remember the House on Haunted Hill, which was based on it, which is really bad. But
I remember that.
The Haunting.
Do you remember when the trailer for that came out and everybody thought it was going to be like the new big thing, and then everyone was just like, "Oh boy, this is terrible."
And then we also, I sort of watched, I half-assedly watched White Zombie today. The Bela Lugosi as a voodoo guy. Oh. It is.
It's not one of his best. It's not one of his best.
Well, it's not one of his worst.
It's not, but it's.
Oh, and we watched The Curse of Frankenstein.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was something.
We watched. I showed MrMahaffey we watched Frankenstein, and we watched. We watched the Black Lagoon, the whatever the monster, the Black Lagoon monster one. Uh-huh. I'd never actually seen that. I realized that when I started watching it. I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. Unfortunately, we look at everything now with a campy eye. So of course, as I'm watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Speaking of watching things with campy eye, do you remember the remake of it was Invasion of Body Snatchers, or the one with Nicole Kidman, where she couldn't fall asleep, or she turned into the alien, and oh my god, Oh my God, it was so bad. Dear listeners, I don't know what the hell is happening with our recording program, but you are gonna get.
You're gonna get the show.
A show.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna get the show.
It's like something is happening, something's becoming unplugged, and it keeps like switching me off and switching Maim away from her input.
And I'm over here 12 hours away.
It's not far enough. Anyway.
So Suzanne shows up.
Oh no! What? I've got it right here. I've got it marked where we're at.
Fine.
Anthony asked Suzanne to use her plate to have dinner at her place.
Mm-hmm.
And like they really rag him and are like, oh, you just, why are you trying to pretend somebody you're not? And Charlene says, "It's a shame you don't know Bill Cosby."
Yeah, I wrote that down too, girl. I wrote that down too. I was like, that joke did not hold up well.
And Suzanne says, it's strange your only friend is 4 white women. Unless, of course, they're all sitting in a Cadillac.
Yes. But you're missing the most important part of that line when Suzanne starts off by saying, I don't mean to sound racist, but...
Fair.
And we all know the rule of thumb. If you start it off that way, you're going to sound racist.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
I did though, however, I like the mental picture of Anthony in like a giant 1970s pimp outfit with the 4 of them in a Cadillac. There was something about that felt kind of right.
Yes. So Julia's like, it never works out. This pretending to be somebody you're not never works out. Then Charlene goes into this tirade from
we haven't had a good Charlene story in a while.
No, from the Blaine Whitehead story from a soap opera, where he becomes a personal trainer and lives as the gym manager for several years with blah 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 blah
until he gets caught. Until he gets caught.
And Julia's like, well, okay, I do apologize. Everything except for the Whitehead story. The Blaine Whitehead story.
Girl.
What?
Suzanne was in a wreck.
What? They let Suzanne drive?
They did. They let her drive, and as soon as she left, not 5 seconds later, she was in one of the most horrific accidents the police had ever seen.
Oh, no. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I hope she's okay.
No, you did not. Don't bring that energy. Don't bring that energy.
Are they going to kill her off in season 2? I thought that was a season 4 thing.
She doesn't get killed off. You know that.
She just goes away to where the fat people live.
Yeah. So so it's really, okay. I say this right. It was really funny, like, to have that guy preface like that there was this awful accident, and somehow Suzanne is like not hurt, literally at all. Like it wasn't even like a little bit, like literally at all.
Well, she was in a very expensive car.
That's true.
Like she was in a very old Mercedes.
Yes,
and there's
those were tanks.
There's a very old woman doing yard work outside my house, in like our little like entryway garden to the neighborhood. She's out there digging away. More power to you, girl. Make it look nice, because it looks like hell right now.
Is she planting for the fall season?
She's probably putting some pansies out there. They all look like you.
I think of myself more like a violet.
Anyway, Suzanne's okay. She's going to start doing good works.
What kind of works? Why?
Good works. Good works. Because
Is she like promised God or
survived.
something?
She was in the last 15 minutes in the car. She promised God that if he let her out, she would only do works. And she's going to start, says right here, by having the dinner party for Anthony.
Which, let me just say, speaking of Bill Cosby joke not aging very well, the Anthony being straight did not age very well when he flipped open that fan and started fanning Suzanne.
Uh-huh.
I was done. I was like, oh no, this is not helping our argument at all.
So now we're at Suzanne's. We're in a different part of
Yeah.
Suzanne's house than we've ever seen before.
I know. It's
We've
like a
all-
little it's a little sitting room.
Oh, excuse me. That was a belch, dear listeners, and I do apologize. It's not getting edited out.
It'll probably edit ourselves out in a minute. Again.
It's exactly right. I keep looking over to the left.
I know.
It changes color each time it's a new recording. And I've learned now it starts off with blue, then it goes to red, and now we're on like a salmon color.
Oh, not salmon.
Salmon.
It was, I'm surprised we didn't get a puce out of it.
A puce. Puce. God, that's a word, isn't it? Puce. Maybe I should just do SMR of just me going, puce. Puce.
Hey, there's a
Puce.
Patreon bonus. There's your Patreon reward right there.
Just me saying,
If you'd like the Divine Miss Mims to just say puce over and over again,
puce.
to put you to sleep, just drop $5 on our Patreon.
You know, they don't even have to do that. They could just listen to this for free, and I will put them right to sleep.
I don't think we put people to sleep.
No, we're too loud. Suzanne is giving away all of her furs.
I saw that to the 4th graders.
Yes. Yes, and like Maryjo's
I
like,
died.
that's fine. We'll just cut them up and make little muffs out of them.
I died. For me, it was so ridiculous, but at the same time, I thought, oh my gosh, if a lady showed up at our 4th grade with furs, I would have been so happy.
Can't you just hear me and you screaming, no, don't cut that? That's real.
This could be a capelet. Stop.
Dear listeners, I do not condone the killing of animals for fur, even though I wear leather. But like fur trade, I do believe is not right. However,
It sounds like a fetish.
let's keep going with this. I'm tired of making my statement. So she also made some soup that made somebody at the shelter sick.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Julia compares. So then they start talking. Suzanne and Anthony start talking about like, you've got to get your dry cleaning done at Stats. Your catering's done by Duffy's. And then he works out at something tuxedo something or another, which sounds nothing like a workout place.
No, it doesn't.
And
then he gets it mixed up.
Yeah, Julia's like compares him to Lucy and Ethel.
Yes, and it was funny. She's like, it's gonna be just like William Holden catching Lucy's nose on fire, and I was like, I remember that episode.
Yup.
I used to have a really weird crush on William Holden. Like a really weird crush.
How do you feel about Nicole Kidman playing Lucille Ball?
I thought you were gonna say playing William Holden. I was like, what? So I watched the trailer, and I'm more excited now that I've seen the trailer because now I realize that the Lucy part of Lucille Ball, it sounds like it's actually gonna be quite minimal in this, and it's gonna be more like Lucille Ball, the producer, the badass, and things like that. And she's already nailed that kind of like slightly smoky voice that she has. So I was like, ooh. Well, I'm more concerned about the guy playing Ricky.
Who's playing Ricky?
Javier Bardem.
Oh.
Like, I like him.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know. I don't know. There's something weird. I don't know if it's like, I think because he has such a very distinct look, and Nicole Kidman can kind of shift around the things. It's a little bit. It's taking a little bit of time to get used to him in that role because he just doesn't look anything like Mr. Ricardo.
So I've got a question for you. Did you see Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar?
No, I remember seeing trailers for it, but I don't. Has it come out like on some kind of service?
Girl, it's been on Prime the entire time. I
don't check Amazon Prime that often.
I'm gonna need you. I think it's on Netflix too. I'm gonna need you to watch that tonight. I'm gonna need you to make a note. Please write this down. Are you writing this down? Do you have a pen? If not, you can use blood. It's okay. Very good. Watch Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. Thanks.
Okay.
Good.
I did.
Could you read it back to me?
Could
you read it back to me? Could you read back the note, please? Oh my God! You left the meeting.
Because I got like a thing that blocked over the screen. I just hit X, and then everything closed, and I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Dear listeners, Maim left us, and she's back. Welcome back, Maim.
Not on my own accord. It wasn't. I didn't plan that.
You're not back on your own accord. You would have stayed away.
I would have actually.
Dear
called into a bottle.
But could you read back the note that I was asking you to take, please?
Watch Bob and Dar go. No, that's not right.
Close enough.
Bob and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Well, just like you, Anthony's getting confused at this dinner.
I would be too, right?
Like, yeah, duffs and muffs and puffs and luffs and stats.
All that rich white stuff, it all sounds the same.
Wait!
What?
There's someone at the door.
But we're having a dinner party.
She's busting her way in.
Who is this person? She sounds rowdy.
She's Denise, and she has Anthony's baby.
Oh my gosh, what?
His name's Anthony Jr.
As it, makes sense, I guess, in the long run.
Anthony is adamant that it's not his son, and I believe him because Anthony's gay.
Anthony's also adamant that he's never even met this woman before, and also Anthony's gay. Yeah.
And like she's like, well, I guess I'll just leave and go back to the bus station.
Cue the waterworks.
Suzanne's like, no, I'll put her up. And Anthony's like, no, I'm a man. It's my problem. As he drapes the shawl around himself. She could take my bed.
He just takes the baby. He's just like, no, this baby's mine. I want it now.
Okay.
I was like, wait, that was weird.
I hope you're ready to skip 2 weeks later to a room in the house. We don't know whose house it is or anything.
I think it's Suzanne's pool house, right? Like, I think that's what it's supposed to be.
The guest house, not the pool house. The pool house is where the sexy men work and live.
Oh, that's right. That's not Anthony.
No, it's not. It's not. Anthony's thinking of adopting AJ. I know.
Anthony can barely take care of himself.
I know. But he did make a mobile for the kid, and he's bought the kid all this stuff, probably on his gold card.
That got cut up, girl. Remember that?
That's right, it did. But Maryjo did owe him a lot of money for the shit she bought for her kids.
That's
so
right.
It's probably looky there.
So he's like a loan shark now.
He is. So Anthony leaves AJ with the girls. And they take care. It's such a sweet little baby. Denise comes in.
Yep.
And she says, he's been so sweet to us. He's had AJ's picture made 3 times at JCPenney's.
I don't know why I wrote that down.
My family was a Sears or Olin Mills family. Ourselves. What about you?
Well, I mean, don't forget, my dad was a photographer. We didn't go to those places.
But as a white person, where did you go?
I can't remember. I think my dad had his like photography studio like up until I was 8 or 9 or things like that.
Is there anything your father didn't do?
No.
Okay.
We've as a family, we've actually had a I'll tell you a story later that I just recently heard, and not on record on the podcast, but a family member told me, relayed a story, and I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? So yeah.
As soon as I hit stop for this, or the next time this stupid computer goes out, you can tell me while I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, because I was like, talk about face crack. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it was like one of those moments.
Wait! We just learned something.
What happened?
Denise got her a job from Mr. Simonton, and he paid for everything. It was all a ruse. It's not Anthony's baby.
What? That's so wrong. I wrote Mr. Simon is an asshole in my notes.
You are not good at listening to people's last names, are you?
I don't really care.
Okay. Now we're at the Simontons.
Yes, who I tell you that those two actually, with their little bit of exchange, I was like, this is gonna be a spin-off even.
It could have been. They
had good chemistry. Those two had good chemistry.
You know what? That would be the perfect perfect couple for What's His Doodle to spin off of soap onto. Benson.
Oh yeah, Robert Guillaume.
Robert Guillaume, thank you. I was thinking Goulet was the only word. Robert Goulet is like a very different person.
Damn you, Will Ferrell, for ruining Robert Goulet. It's really awful that Will Ferrell's character has literally ruined Robert actual Goulet in my brain, that I don't even see his picture when I say his name.
So now we're back at Simonton's. And Julia said, perhaps you're a better judge of plants than people. Charlene's like, well, if you see my cactus, you would.
Yeah. And actually, the way Charlene keeps talking about it, it sounds like this guy's kind of like actually not a great business person.
Uh-huh. Mr. Simonton hired a PI to look into Anthony.
What?
But we find out some tea.
We find out some very important tea for the show.
Anthony got a bad rap. His friends he was with knocked up a liquor shop, and he was caught with the getaway car. He knew nothing about it.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to say he got something with spoiled falafel.
And Charlene just said, I never thought he did it.
Nope, she always said that. She's maintained his innocence the whole show. Not Julia, though.
So, Mr. Simon, Julia's like, why didn't you want him to, like, then what's your problem with Anthony? And he's like, well, we're rich, and we want our daughter to stay rich. And the wife slaps back.
Yes, she does, honey.
She is
that
tired of him.
She's not having it.
She's not having it. But by the end of this, they're going to have some sex in a wheelchair is what it looks like.
Yeah, when she said that, not the wheelchair part that was awkward, but I was like, should we be having this conversation in front of these people that we barely know?
I know, right? And I've got a question for you. Did you notice she was in a wheelchair at the dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not. Not until this scene did I notice. I was like, was she? And then watching it again the second time, I was like, okay, good. She was actually in a wheelchair at the dinner.
That would have been a completely different episode about what happened in between those two scenes.
Savannah and Anthony have the dad's blessing.
Oh, mazel tov.
So now we're back at Sugar Bakers.
Oh, that's not the end of the episode. Oh,
no, there's a button. There's a button. There's a very, how many pages button? About a page long button here. Denise has left, and she's sending pictures to Anthony of the kid of
little AJ.
little AJ. Is it not weird that Charlene's opening up Anthony's mail and reading it to him aloud?
I mean, maybe Anthony gave her pre-consent just in case he gets any death threats or bomb threats.
Suzanne's depressed.
Why is she so depressed? She's been doing the good works of the Lord.
She's been doing too many good deeds. Her hair's frazzled. Her skin looks bad. And she just hands Anthony $20.
When she gives him that $20, and she looks so exhausted.
Because, and I quote, dear listeners, she doesn't feel like going to a minority fundraiser, and he's a minority, so she's giving him money.
And like, why only $20? Like, if this is supposed to be in lieu of going to a minority fundraiser, you probably would be giving them more money than $20.
I mean, but look, Julia's got news. Julia's got news. The police delivered something today.
What did they deliver?
Suzanne's purse is okay.
Oh my gosh! I feel like there's a sign there in something.
It's I believe it was Charlene that said, if you were meant to make a life of good deeds, God wouldn't have made you so shallow.
And Suzanne's like, you're right.
and then Maryjo says, we don't need any more of your clothes. Half of the fourth grade already looks like little Richard.
These were two of the best jokes.
It's absolutely right. So then she promises to be a horrible person yet again.
I'm so glad old Suzanne is back.
Well, Maim, did you find yourself a Miss Georgia World?
Oh yes, Annie. I wrote it down and everything.
Well, I hope
Julia
you did that.
Julia in that red dress at the dinner party with that little keyhole cutting out. I was like, girl,
that was my second choice. That was my second
What's your first choice?
Suzanne's green dress at the end with the
that was really nice.
It's kind of brocade, but not gold. It matches. I love it. I love it. Was nice. I love it.
That was my number. That was my number 2, basically. So our 1 and 2s, as usual, they're right there with each other.
Did you enjoy the episode?
I like this one. This has been the best second season episode so far, compared to what we've been exposed to. Yes. Yeah, I agree. This I didn't enjoy it as much watching it. In the rewatch, it was much better. Yeah.
Because
this one's had a lot more jokes. Like they actually tried to put jokes into this episode.
Yeah, and Charlene didn't come off as an idiot. Maryjo wasn't so dowdy and sad.
Yeah. Well, she also didn't have that many lines in this one, though.
That's true. It was all about.
I feel like. Anytime Maryjo has a lot of lines, I feel like those are downer episodes a bit.
Which is the next episode. I don't know if you've watched it yet. Do you know what the next episode is?
No, I haven't watched it yet. What is the next episode?
It's the episode. You'll just watch it. You're going to cry a lot.
Oh God.
We've hit that episode.
No. Oh, I don't want to cry. Okay, I'll have to not wear it on Thursday so I don't get my mascara messed up.
Oh, your mascara will get. I will say that the next episode, not this episode, dear listeners, the next episode, Mr. Mims was like, "Well, shit," and I was like, "Yeah." when this show is on, it's on.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Which is hilarious that a 30-minute comedy will make you cry, but whatever. Well, Maim,
my stand-up makes people cry in 5 minutes. So
well, that's just listening to your voice. So speaking of that, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, Maim?
Sure. On Instagram, you can find me at auntie.maim. That's MAIM. On Facebook, you can find me at I'm Your Auntie Maim, one word. If you are in the Miami area on Thursday nights, you can come down to Kill Your Idol on Miami Beach. And I'm hosting Amazing Colossal Karaoke every Thursday from 10 to 2 a.m.
And I, the Divine Miss Mims, you can find me at Divine Miss Mims on Twitter. You can find this podcast at Baking Sugar Pod on Twitter. You can find our Patreon at patreon.com/bakingsugar, where we are going to, have a monthly Discord where we watch a movie. We'll do some other things. I'll say the word puss a lot. A variety of things. Our first goal, dear listeners, is to get rid of the ads. So once we reach that goal, we'll get rid of the ads, and you'll be able to visit us and say things and do things, and I don't know what else. We have another podcast.
Yes, we do.
You slay me. A what podcast?
Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote podcast. We've done our first full episode. We're getting ready to record our second full episode. We have 30 listeners.
Oh!
So if y'all enjoy Murder, She Wrote as much as we do, watch it on the Peacock with us.
Peacock.
And come on over and enjoy that with us. I think am I babbling? I'm babbling. I'll stop.
You're babbling at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Take
no,
your medicine.
I don't have any. All right, Maim. Say goodbye, Maim. But don't get off this phone because I want to hear a story. Say goodbye, Maim.
Bye, Maim.
Bye, y'all.